On Mondays, which for most people is International Chest Day, you probably have the bench press reserved for the classic flat bench press. But you can do a lot more exercises using a bench press, and today we're gonna go over a few of those, just in case maybe it's the only tool you have available. So let's get started.
So the first thing that probably comes to mind when you're thinking about bench press is the flat bench press, either dumbbell or barbell. So we're gonna get that one out of the way and move on to the next one, which is gonna be the incline press. Now you can either perform this with dumbbells or a barbell as well. And things you've got to keep in mind when performing this exercise is keep those shoulders back. And you're not pressing the bar or dumbbells from the sternum area, you're actually gonna raise it up slightly to the clavicle portion of your body because you're really trying to focus on that clavicular portion of the pectoralis major. With this one, you want to get that nice deep stretch in the chest as you bring it down, and when you contract to the top position, keep those shoulders pinched back so that way you're getting the full activation in the chest, even in the top position. Now don't feel like you have to lock out in this position. Keep some tension on the chest and then return it back down to the bottom position. Keep the core tight and your head firmly placed against the pad, and also the hips too, so that way it completely stabilizes you throughout the motion. Congratulations, you just completed the incline press. Definitely one of our top favorites when it comes to building and developing the upper chest. Moving on to the next exercise, and this one is gonna be the pullover. Definitely one of our top favorite exercises for that full upper body pump, and also builds a lot of strength in the lats and chest as well. Now this one's considered a little bit more of an isolation exercise because it's really just utilizing the extension and flexion of the shoulder joint. Now there's two ways to kind of perform this. You can either lay standard on a bench press when your body is laying the full length of the bench press, or you can do a cross bench press. Now with a cross bench press, you're laying across the bench press and dipping the hips down, and this way you're gonna get a little bit fuller range of motion and a bit more stretch in the lats as you bring that weight behind your head. A few things to keep in mind in this exercise is going to be taking a nice deep breath as you pull that weight behind you. Get that nice full stretch in the lats, a little bit in the chest and also in the triceps too, and then exhale at the top position. You're going to feel the core engage throughout this motion because it's going to help stabilize you. Again, keep those hips a little bit lower so that way you're going to feel extra stretch in those muscles. Try not to bend or extend the elbows too much because that's going to activate the triceps. So they can be slightly bent but stationary, so that way it's going to get the full activation in the lats and the chest, also a little bit in the core, but you will feel a little burn in the triceps because it's helping to stabilize that joint throughout the full motion. Yeah, pullover. Definitely one of the best. Next we got the close grip press. Now this one is pretty much similar to the standard barbell bench press, but as the name explained, it's going to be a closer grip. Now in doing this, it's going to be focusing a little bit more on those triceps. So this is one of the most excellent exercises you can do for the triceps if you're looking to do a compound movement. So with compound movement, you're utilizing more than one joint. So standard tricep extension exercise can be in isolation where you're utilizing just the flexion of the elbow. But in this case, you're using the shoulders as well. So the chest and front delts will be activated. But in this case, you're kind of concentrating on tricep a little bit more. And the reason being is because you're closing up your grip slightly, your elbows are running closer to the body, and at the top position, you're going to be locking out and squeezing and contracting the triceps as much as you can. So lay on the bench at a standard position, feet wide flat on the floor to help stabilize, and your hips firmly planted against the bench. So take that grip, close it in, and you're gonna be having it more narrow than shoulder. So you're gonna feel it pretty close. And people are gonna kind of differ from person to person, so kind of adjust accordingly. So if you have any kind of issues or tightness or kind of immobility in there, so just make it a little bit wider or closer depending on what feels best for you. So once you get down into that top position, you're gonna lower it to the sternum level, elbows tucked in, and then you're gonna be pressing it straight up, get that nice squeeze the top position, really contract those triceps, and then let it down to the bottom position again. So definitely one of our top favorites for a compound exercise for those triceps, to build them strong and build them buff. Yeah. The Bulgarian split squats. If you're from Bulgaria, well, we thank you for inventing this exercise because it's pretty badass. And one of the reasons why it's badass is because it's one, a unilateral exercise. So you're really focusing on one leg and then moving on to the next. So instead of alternating, you're really just going through the reps on one leg, and once you're finished with that, you're gonna move on to the next leg. And this is really gonna be good because it's gonna help with any kind of asymmetrical issues that can happen, either strength or size in the legs. So in order to perform this exercise, you're going to need a bench because one of your legs is going to be set backwards on the bench to help to stabilize you, and the other leg is going to be up forward. So you're almost kind of in a lunge position, but in this case, one of your legs, the backward facing legs, is going to be elevated on the bench. Now this is going to be creating a lot of stretch in the quadriceps of that elevated leg, and in the meantime, going to help kind of stabilize you, but at the same time, it's going to require a little bit more balance as well, especially in the ankle joint. So for the leg that's stretched out in that lunge position, you can be lowering yourself down by flexing in the knee, and you can be pressing straight up. So it's gonna be working the quads, the glutes, a little bit in the balance and kind of like that mobility in the ankle joint. And overall, it's just a damn good exercise to build that leg strength and fix any asymmetrical problems in the body. Spider curls. Moving on to the most important exercise, the one that does biceps. Now this one is an isolation exercise because it's really just focusing on the flexion of the elbow joint. So that concentration, that contraction is right in the biceps. In order to do that, you're gonna have an inclined bench and lay face down and be holding the dumbbell or barbells down to the bottom in stretch position, and you're gonna curl them straight up, get that nice flex, and then bring it down to the bottom position. Really simple, really awesome, and just make sure you're not swinging, make sure you bring it down to the bottom position, nice controlled manner, and then once you reach that stretch position, bring it back up to the top position and squeeze those biceps as hard as you can, and then there you go, spider curls. Awesome name, awesome exercise, and well, you're welcome.
There you go, dudes and girls. 5 exercises that you can perform using the bench press. Now we'd love to do some more of these in the future. So maybe flat bench press only, maybe incline only, maybe decline only. Let us know in the comments below some of your favorite exercises using those variations. We'll get on it and look for another video in this series soon. So until next time, what do we always say? Stay buff.